Gather around, my friends, and listen closely. This is not just a tale, it is a warning from the spirits themselves. It happened in the village of Arogbo, a place hidden beneath the shadows of the great Ekiri forest. Now, Arogbo was ruled by Chief Balogun, a man both feared and admired. His wealth was unmatched, his rule firm but just, depending on who you asked. By his side were his two advisors, Akambi, sharp-tongued and ambitious, and Olumo, a humble farmer and the chief's childhood friend. Akambi envied Olumo, for though he was trusted by the chief, it was Olumo who held Balogun's heart, and that envy would set their village on the path to ruin. One market day, a wandering storyteller came to Arogbo. He spoke of a golden calabash hidden deep in the cursed Ekiri forest. This calabash, he said, is no ordinary treasure. It grants fortune to its possessor, but only the pure of heart can wield it. For those unworthy, it brings ruin. The villagers murmured in awe. Balogun's eyes sparkled with greed. That calabash will be mine, he declared. But the Ekiri forest? Even Balogun was no fool. That place was cursed. Instead, he turned to his advisors. One of you will retrieve the calabash for me, he said, and whoever succeeds will be richly rewarded. Akambi stepped forward without hesitation. I will go, my chief, he said, his lips curling into a sly smile. Olumo hesitated. My chief, he said, are we sure it is wise to disturb such a treasure? Balogun's voice boomed. Do you doubt my command? With a heavy heart, Olumo bowed. No, my chief. I'll do as you ask. At dawn, Akambi set out, but not before planting the seeds of his betrayal. He took a pouch of stolen gold and buried it in Olumo's farmland. A silent trap that would later spring with devastating force. The Ekiri forest was a wall unto itself, dark, dense, and filled with whispers. Akambi pressed on until he came upon an old woman sitting under a gnarled tree. Her milky eyes stared straight ahead, seeing things beyond this world. Turn back, she croaked. The calabash sees the truth of your heart. Do not tempt it. But Akambi sneered. Old woman, your riddles are for fools. I will claim the treasure. And so he pushed forward, reaching a clearing where the golden calabash sat, glowing on a pedestal of roots. It was beautiful, almost alive. As he reached out to touch it, a voice rolled through the forest. Who claims the golden calabash? Is your heart pure? Akambi's heart raced, but he masked his fear. I am loyal and worthy, he lied. The forest went silent, and for a moment the calabash dimmed, as if considering his words. But then it allowed itself to be lifted. Akambi grinned. The calabash was his. Akambi returned to Arogbo as a hero. The villagers cheered as he presented the calabash to Balogun, who was overjoyed. But Akambi's treachery was just beginning. That night, he whispered to the chief, "My lord, Olumo betrayed you. I found stolen gold hidden in his farmland. No doubt, he planned to bribe the spirits for the calabash." Balogun's face darkened. By morning, the guards had uncovered the gold, and Olumo was dragged before the village. "Olumo!" Balogun roared. "You have betrayed me and the spirits. For this, you will be exiled into the Ekiri forest. Let it decide your fate." Olumo's eyes widened in disbelief. "My chief, I have served you faithfully. Enough!" Balogun's voice thundered. "Take him away." As Olumo was led into the forest, the golden calabash began to hum softly. But only the village priestess noticed. She watched, her old eyes narrowing in suspicion. Olumo wandered the forest, preparing to meet his end. But then he saw her. The old woman under the gnarled tree. "Your heart is heavy with betrayal," she said, "but the forest knows the truth. Seek the Iroko grove. There, your fate will be decided." Meanwhile, strange things began to happen in Arogbo. The golden calabash leaked a black sticky liquid that stained Balogun's palace. Crops withered, villagers grew sick. Terrified, Balogun summoned the priestess. She touched the calabash and recoiled. "This is no blessing," she cried. "This is a curse brought by deceit." Balogun's hand trembled. Akambi brought the calabash. He claimed Olumo betrayed me. The priestess' eyes burned. "Summon Akambi." But Akambi was gone, his home abandoned. In the forest, Olumo reached the Iroko grove, where the spirits appeared as shadows cast by an unseen light. "You have been wronged, Olumo," they said, "but vengeance is not yours to take. Return to Arogbo. The calabash will reveal truth." Olumo bowed his head and said, "And if they do not listen, they will," the spirits replied. "The guilty cannot escape your lies." When Olumo returned, the villagers gasped. Balogun demanded an explanation. Olumo pointed to the calabash. "Let it judge us all," he said. The golden calabash paused, his voice shaking the earth. "Akambi is the betrayer. His greed cursed this land." At that moment, Akambi stumbled into the square, his face gaunt and haunted. "I was wrong," he cried. "Forgive me." But the calabash glowed brighter, and the ground beneath him split open. Roots snaked out, pulling me into the earth as the villagers screamed. With Akombi gone, the land began to heal. Humbled, Chief Balogun stepped down as chief, offering the role to Olumo. Olumo refused. "I will serve as a guide," he said, "so no one forgets the cost of betrayal." And to this day, the golden calabash sits in the village shrine, cracked but whole. At night, whispers rise from the forest edge, a warning that the spirits see all and their betrayal always demands its price. Let this story be a lesson, my friends. The hearts cannot hide from the truth.